Hey, welcome to my Vlogiversary. If you're out there, it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you've tuned into the gardening episode. I know it's hard to believe that there's an outdoor gardening episode when just last week we had, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. There's one thing that you really have to plant early if you want to have a good crop, and if you want to have a crop that's early. Do you know what that is? Anyone? I don't see any comments yet. Who's out there? There's 4 of you. Springtime. First thing that goes in the ground are peas. Peas love the cold weather, so even if it does, the ground freezes a little bit on the surface, or we get some really cold temperatures, and even if the peas are germinated, they can deal with it. So the old Maine tradition is water. Hey, Kathy Miller, Ibrahim Mercado, welcome. Planting peas, Pierre. These are sugar snap peas. So these are not peas that you break the shell and you take out the little round peas. Hey, Cheryl L. These are the peas that you can eat the whole pod. And the pod is sweet, and we love sugar snap peas. So in the springtime, the very first thing I get to do, as soon as I can turn this soil over, which is what I just did with a fork, is to plant my peas. And I just make these, eventually I'm gonna have a pole out here and a pole right here and a fence that connects the two of them, because the peas will grow on, they grow as a vine, and they'll grow to be as tall as 8 feet. Hey, Julie Miller, James, Hudspeth, Curry, and Andrea, always enjoy your show. About to drive from Arizona back to Colorado. Thanks very much, Jim. Crazy Family Show is back. All right, folks, I'm planting my peas here. So I've got my 3 little grooves. And I'm just going along, and I'm gonna just drop them in the trough right now, and then I'll just go back and punch them in with my finger. I'm putting them about an inch apart, and I'm doing 3 rows. I want hundreds of plants here, because I want a lot of peas. We love peas. They're one of the things that just come right off the vine and taste absolutely wonderful, raw. No cooking. Please don't cook your peas, just eat them raw. And it's funny because when I grew up as a kid, a lot of my vegetable exposure was to canned and preserved vegetables. So I really, and I think Andrea would attest to that if she was up there, that, as kids, we didn't know what fresh, good tasting, wholesome vegetables were like. And so now as adults, we get the choice to either buy them or grow them. And man, it's amazing what a difference it makes, good, healthy, homegrown food, great if it can be organic. So some people like to add a little bit of this and add a little bit of that. I think if you're judicious, you're probably not going to hurt yourself or the soil too much, really. But, we choose to go organic. You've seen my compost bin, I think. We save all of our food scraps and we compost, and then that makes great, a great soil amendment. So for those of you that are just chiming in, this is the garden episode, and today we're planting peas. These peas come from Johnny's Seeds, which is in Albion, Maine, and I pretty much get my seeds there every year. In fact, this year I made my seed order online. It was a Sunday. They were there. They came the next day. I got my onions in the mail late last week, and I can plant those out in a little while. And the next things I'll be planting after peas are the radishes. Radishes are also a very good cold weather, quick ripening, growing crop. I like radishes. We can eat radish greens too. So April is the time to start peas. Yes, Crazy Family Show. As soon as you can poke your finger down like 6 inches, or what is that, like 15 centimeters or something, put your peas in. You know, even if that ground has a little bit of a refreeze, it's not gonna hurt the peas, and it'll give you a jump. And so in Maine, the goal is if you can get your peas in early enough, you'll have ripe peas for the 4th of July. And so it's like one of the first really early great fruits that you can get from growing, you know, by getting going early. You know, you got to get those peas in now. If you can turn the soil over, it's time to plant your peas. And like I said, so radishes will be next. I have a lot of stuff going on this year. I probably should have already started inside my peppers. I have a lot of hot peppers that we got because we do like to eat a lot of Mexican food. You know, those take a little while to germinate and to mature to a point where they can be safely transplanted outside. And so I really should probably have gotten those going a little bit early. I'll be fine. You know, we're still in the frost danger zone. You know, we could definitely continue, you know, we could have a frost for like probably the next 5 weeks. I think the last frost date is usually sometime in the 2nd week of May. So, you know, there's some things certainly that you can't put out until after that frost date occurs. Do any of you garden where you are? Maybe you're in an urban area and you can get into a community garden, or maybe you have window boxes. Do you grow tomatillos? Seth Johnson, you know what? One year I planted tomatillos in my garden, and it grew so many tomatillos that I don't even need to plant them anymore. They just they produce so many tomatillos and so many seeds come out that they just grow every year. It's in the soil, the seeds are there. So, and if it didn't grow up, I would definitely plant them because I love tomatillos, the Mexican food. Crazy Family Show says we have a small garden plot. Kathy Miller puts out a couple tomato plants and a few flowers. Ibrahim used to, but he moved. I know, it's tough when you're moving around in apartments. Faithworks 444 grows tomatoes. I love growing tomatoes. We grow them too. We get a blight though. So I have basically not given up on tomatoes, but now I only grow cherry tomatoes or the small plum tomatoes because those don't seem to be affected by the blight so much, and it's a pain. Crazy Family Show planted pumpkins. Ever done giant pumpkins? Grockon's building a cold frame for the top of his raised beds today. Right on, Grockon. We have a commercial garden plant community in Washington, community gardens. Right on. Last year's Crazy Family Show says, yeah, last year's. I am really excited to get back. You know, there's always an opportunity cost. So last summer, I had the time of my life in Colorado, going on in the Colorado trip, but I missed doing my garden. So I'm really excited to get back to my gardening this year. And I'm going to try to take you on a quick tour. I'll push the pause on my peas here so you can see the overall scheme of what I'm doing with the raised bed gardens and how I plan to expand. Oh, Beth grows blueberries and raspberries. Nice. We just started planting high bush blueberries, and it is, I hope, going to be a very rewarding venture. Okay. I'm going to try to, happy wife, happy life, Grockon. I'm going to try to stay close to my house when I do this. So right now, I have 1, 2, 3.5 sets of raised gardens, raised beds, basically. And they're all sort of networked with a brick walkway. You see my 7th over there. I have plans for 12. So I want 6 sets of raised beds here. They're 14 feet long, and I'm sorry for my metric friends. I can't do that conversion on my own. Oh, Pierre Simonson's having a problem with slugs. You know what you need, Pierre? You need ducks. Ducks eat slugs like, it's their favorite dish. So my goal is to have 12 of these raised bed gardens. Right now, I'm not sure if you can see, but all along there where the straw is being piled up, because the twins are emptying out the duck poop today. You're missing that because I can't video up there on live, so that has been nasty, smelly. I pulled out I don't even want to go there. And so those are blueberries. There's a dozen blueberry plants down there. Pierre was wondering if I have a problem with slugs. When it's wet in Maine, there are slugs everywhere. Sharon Poteet grows herbs, tomatoes, and you have a lemon and lime tree. Sharon, where do you live? That's awesome. I would love to have. I mean, we have some small citrus plants that are for fun, but and so that's my plan here, is to get this dozen done, to ensure that my blueberries grow up. And then, do I have the Spanish wood slug? I don't think we do, Pierre. I think it's just sort of the native slug. Sharon lives in San Antonio. That explains the citrus. My next goal is to plant a row of raspberries that goes from south to north towards the building. Killer slugs? No, we don't have those, Pierre. I think we just have our regular slugs. Pretty sure. Crazy Family Show? You live in BC. Okay. So you're over on the other coast. Raspberries. That's my next plan. And then, you can't tell right now, and I hope I'm not losing you as I walk here, but this is what is it called? A Sabravois triple purpose grape. So it's for vinegar, it's for wine, and it's for for eating, for grapes. Anyway, this is languishing here on the ground. It's like blah, 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 blah. And I'm planning on building an arbor in this inside corner here. I'd like to have a post out there that comes up and with a nice, pergola type thing the grapes can grow over, and we can actually start harvesting. Have you seen the video of my mom's grapes? Did I show that to you guys last year? She's got some great grapes. So that's my garden plot here. I've always loved gardening. It really is kind of therapeutic for me, to be able to garden. And I guess I'm the kind of person that likes to see, likes to create and make things, and when you're growing something from little seed, and seeing it come up and make a plant that fruits that you can get nourished from, it's just awesome. Cheryl O would like to have a tour of my mom's house. I invited her down so that we could do a session with her. I should give her a call and get her down here for the 3 p.m. slot. I'll do that. Well, I'm gonna finish planting up my peas before the next hour here, so that's gonna be in these rows here. Crazy Family Show is one of my subscribers, and he's at day 459 with his blog. That's a vlog. That's awesome. Kathy Miller, I will call Mother. Tell her to take the cats. Tell her to put some cats in her pocket and bring them down for us, right? All right. I'm going to finish my 3 rows of peas here, and then I have these. This is garlic. The garlic that I planted last fall. So when you plant garlic, you get bulbs of garlic, and you peel off the cloves, and you just plug the cloves down into the ground and bank it over so it doesn't get too frozen. And so I'll pull all these oak leaves off here, and give that some air and some light, and before you know it, there's going to be greens growing up through, and the garlic will be growing, and that'll be ready in early July, probably about the time the peas we'll have fresh garlic. So I'm just a green thumb. I've always loved it. It's just a lot of fun for me, and I think it's a lot of fun for a lot of people, and I think that a lot more people would probably benefit from gardening, but they just don't have the opportunity. I love it when you have your mom on, Sharon Poteet says. I know, she is so much fun. She really gets into it. I think she also appreciates the fact that I'm able to edit out things that she doesn't want seen. So that's what will make having her here and having her live a little bit more interesting now, won't it? All right, unless there's any more questions about my garden, or they say they are too busy to garden. Yeah, I know, too busy to garden for sure. That's a shame. Sometimes it doesn't take that much, but you can make as much work out of gardening as you want and get any level of pleasure that you want out of it. I think that some people make it a chore and it becomes something that they don't look forward to, and that's definitely not the camp I'm in. All right. Thanks for coming with me. There's 13 of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to my garden episode. I think the next episode is going to be the buzz. See you in a few. Thanks, Peter Los Angeles. PayPal. Oh, thank you, man. I will do that. Oh, I was going to mention that. Peter Los Angeles said, why don't you set up a PayPal address so that we can make a subscription payment to your vlog? Which I think is a great idea, I've been sort of not soliciting money because I love it when people just offer it freely, and that makes me feel better. I'm going to do that. I'm going to set that up. Andrea calls it a tip jar. Why don't you just set up a tip jar, she says, So I'm gonna do something like that pretty soon. I've just been so busy, and I've been trying to keep up with the vlog, and I've been so excited for this day. All right, 15 minutes, 49 seconds, and I'm tuning out, folks. Thanks for coming with me on this episode.